it converts it to something that can be perceived by the conscious mind. Maybe it's a sensation, maybe it's a thought, could be an emotion, a feeling, but something gets handed off to the conscious mind that can be perceived, and then that's where the response should occur. And we condition all that in. This is not something that you're doing actively. You're learning to do it on easy things, so you're building the conditioning. So the same way the automaticity works based on how you were from 0 to 7, you're shifting it so the automaticity works that's in a way aligned with your quest or your purpose. So the 7-step reset, recovery as a performance multiplier. Rather than focusing on stability, what we're focusing on is rapid recovery. Rapid recovery at the millisecond level. That's why it has to be conditioned in, because the conscious mind is not operating at milliseconds. It's 50 bits per second is like the speed of the conscious mind, whereas the network of neurons, because energy is flowing through the pathways, and there's trillions of connections, so energy is flowing through trillions of connections, and that's why the processing speed over there is 11 million bits per second. So you want to interrupt the pattern, return to presence, restore coherence, and then emotional modulation before escalation. So that could be happening at step 2 or step 5, because you want fast recovery. Fast recovery prevents reaction stacking and preserves cognitive bandwidth. An example of reaction stacking: suppose a person is faced with a crisis and they have 3 options, and all 3 of those options are suboptimal. They don't like either one of them. And they start thinking about what's going to happen on the first option, and they don't like it, and they're thinking, and remember, the network of neurons, aka subconscious, doesn't understand, and it thinks of everything as a Serengeti tiger. And you have the network of neurons now saying that's a bad thing, it creates some fight or flight. Option 2 is bad, creates some more fight or flight. Option 3 is bad, it creates some more fight or flight, but they stack. It's like all 3 options are stacking, but all 3 options are not going to happen at the same time. You're doing one or the other, but yet the person is catastrophizing as though all of this is coming at them at one time. So that's an example. That's a visual you can have. And if most people have experienced this, and what you want to do is notice it in others before it happens. And that's where we're going to go next. In the next area, I'll talk about the power of the first 600 milliseconds. Why 600? Because the conscious mind has a reaction time of a half second. And so that's a half second that the subconscious, aka network of neurons, is processing. But before that, there's a pre-listening period that's about 1/10 of a second. And that's where I get the 600 milliseconds. But in that 600 milliseconds, there's automaticity happening based on your conditioning from 0 to 7.